Welcome to another special edition of the Crossroads Suncast. This is the third and final installment of our series of candidate forums leading up to Kentucky's primary election. This week, Republican candidates for McCracken County Judge Executive take the stage. Incumbent Craig Clymer, Commissioner Richard Abraham, and businessman Matt Moore are all seeking the party's nomination. All three men laid out their economic vision for the county when it comes to jobs, taxes, and more. Here's the forum in full, moderated by me, and hosted by the Paducah Area Chamber of Commerce. And good afternoon. Today, the Paducah Area Chamber of Commerce brings to you an opportunity to hear the views of the Republican candidates for McCracken County Judge Executive on issues of importance to our business community. To those in the TV and digital viewing audiences, we are broadcasting live from the Paducah McCracken County Convention Center with a live audience who we have asked to remain silent during the forum. We welcome our candidates to the stage and for joining us today. Earlier, they drew numbers for their positions on stage and are now anxiously awaiting for us to begin. Participating in the forum are Matt Moore, Judge Executive Craig Clymer, and County Commissioner Richard Abraham. Welcome to all of you for being here today. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll start with opening statements by our candidates, followed by multiple rounds of questions, and the candidates have 2 minutes for opening statements. And we will begin with Mr. Matt Moore.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'd like to thank the Chamber and WPSD for sponsoring and putting this on. My name is Matt Moore. I'm a lifelong resident of McCracken County. I'm a local entrepreneur and businessman, and I'm running for McCracken County Judge Executive because I genuinely care about this community, its people, and its future. I care about your families, my family, and all families, whether you live in Lone Oak, Reedland, Heath, Farley, West Paducah, or the city of Paducah. I'm running to represent all residents of McCracken County. I would like us to work together to empower and nurture our young talent, strengthen our workforce pipelines, enrich lives through innovation, improve our quality of life, keep our best and brightest from leaving for larger cities. As a businessman, I bring vision and experience and the ability to take action. Throughout this campaign, I've sat in living rooms across the community with people who I've never met, listening to families, learning their stories, and hearing their concerns, and sharing my vision, because leadership starts with understanding people. We are at a crucial point, and McCracken County has real potential for growth, but we must be prepared to seize it. I'm a businessman, and I wake up every day with ways to learn, grow, and be better than I was the day before. I will be responsible, consistent, accountable, and transparent, and I will work to make sure we keep our hard-earned money in our own pockets and not going toward new taxes. I'm prepared to lead, and I'm asking for your support as we move McCracken County forward together.
All right, thank you, sir. Opening statement, 2 minutes, Mr. Clymer.
All right, well, I always like to start off with a joke when I do a presentation. Unfortunately, my wife Phyllis got a hold of my joke, and so we're just going to get right into the meat of the speech instead. So 7 years ago, you elected me as your McCracken County Judge Executive. I quickly learned that the county was in a very weak financial condition because of deficit spending for a number of years. So we cut services to cut costs. We were unable to draw prospective projects into the county because of a lack of ability to do monetary incentives. So they passed us over and went on elsewhere. Then COVID hit hard. We were forced to raise some revenue, and through careful and conservative planning, we began pulling ourselves up. We've grown our bond rating now from low to high. Our prospects have brightened. Fast forward to today. You see President Trump in the news just a couple of weeks ago. Paducah is the site for global laser enrichment and general matter, and the activities going on out at the DOE site. We're the talk of the town in Frankfort and in D.C. We are boomtown here in West Kentucky. We're reindustrializing the DOE site with thousands of high-paying jobs. That's going to bring millions of dollars into our county treasurer. This new source of revenue allows us to cut taxes on residents. So we cut insurance tax by about 30% a couple of weeks ago. We're going to cut it again by 9% in the next budget, and we're going to continue annually to look at making more cuts. So that's my plan. It's working. Continue growing McCracken County stronger still, greater services at even less cost to our residents. We got to stick to the plan.
Thank you, Mr. Clymer. Opening statements, Mr. Abraham.
Thank you guys for having me. A friend of mine, C.D. Bradley, when I first got elected back in 2000 on the city board of commissioners, asked me, he goes, man, why do you want to get into local politics? And I said, well, if I'm going to live in a city where 4 or 5 people make policy, I'd like to be one of them. I've done my best to enhance the place where we raised our children. I've been involved in so many different nonprofit organizations. I've made some standalone votes that it looked like I was wrong. Turned out to be not so much. So it's kind of like in sports when you have that analogy, the game's kind of slowed down. And we'll give you a little bit of what that means. When I first got elected, if I had hair, it would have been on fire. Everybody was going 100 miles an hour. I'm trying to get on the on-ramp. Well, at this point, the game's kind of slowed down. I understand who our assets are. I'm probably one of the most approachable elected officials in the history of McCracken County. So I look forward to continue to work like I always have. There's nothing like a track record. If you want to know anything about me, just it's all online. It's there. And if you can't find it, ask me. And I'll be more than happy to sit down and talk to you. So appreciate you guys having me and look forward to the conversation.
All right, thank you, sirs. We will now move to questions. Candidates have 2 minutes to answer, and again, our timekeepers will indicate when you have 15 seconds left and when time is up. First question. We talk a lot about economic development in our community, and it's really a very broad subject. What is your take on what economic development is, and how will you approach it? We begin with Mr. Clymer.
Well, economic development is just essential to a community, to the strength and quality of our county. It creates great jobs, expands business, providing employment and high wages, broadens the tax base, supports small businesses. We can improve infrastructure by leading to better roads, improves infrastructure, retains young people. With economic development, we build the county stronger. We don't have to have our children leaving the community to go off looking for good jobs. We're going to have them right here. They're right here coming now. It strengthens community stability. A diverse and growing economy makes the county more resilient during economic downturn. And so county leaders have to have a clear vision and work consistently over time for long-term goals, not short-term goals. Economic development is relationship-driven. It takes years. The trust, the credibility, and a reputation for cooperation are invaluable. Businesses strive to avoid risk and uncertainty. They seek stability. Leaders who have experience and success in office, leaders who have a proven track record of success and cooperation and relationships with other government entities, as well as the community as a whole. Leaders with education and training and skills that foster a welcoming business environment. Somewhere they know they can come, they'll be treated well. We manage business like we should, and the risk is virtually not there. They know they can grow, and we'll support them every way we can.
Mr. Abraham.
Well, first of all, you have to have an economic development arm, and we have that here in McCracken County. Bruce Wilcox and his guys, they do a great job of recruiting. And so we want to make sure that from where we're sitting, we're doing everything we can from the fiscal court standpoint to be welcoming. And let's just talk about that for a second. One of the greatest assets we have here in McCracken County is where we're located, and God did that. We didn't have anything to do with that. So you got these companies that are looking at to moving their product. If I'm located in McCracken County, how quickly can I get my product to anywhere in the United States. Wow, you look at that and you're like, I think we could do some business there. So then at that point, it's our job not to blow it. So I appreciate the partners that we have, that we use tax dollars, local folks' tax dollars to support the arm of GPED and what they do. So it's a team effort. We do our part. We encourage and support our assets in the community.
All right. Thank you, sir. And Mr. Moore.
Just to touch on that too, I feel like that our location is our best asset with the river, the means of transportation that we have through rail, major interstate, and an airport. Centrally located between a day's drive within several major cities of, St. Louis, Nashville, Memphis, all the way up to Chicago in a day's drive. There isn't any reason why we shouldn't be reaching out to transportation in and out hubs, and I feel like that is our major asset. I know that Owensboro has reached out and kind of latched on to Bowling Green, and they have had a lot of success filtering off their overflow, and that's not that far away. And if we strengthen our relationship with our surrounding larger successful cities like that, I feel like we will then be moving in the right direction.
All right. Thank you, sir. Next question. Paying taxes is something no one really likes to do, but we do so at the local, state, and federal level. How do you look at taxes and the need for them locally? That's the question we begin with Mr. Abraham.
Well, the only income that the county gets is through taxes. That's just the way it is. And we're all conservative guys, so we don't want to. We want to keep taxes as low as possible. But again, that's our only revenue stream. So, for instance, when we cut the insurance premium tax about $1.5 million, that was great. But understand that's $1.5 million not coming into the general fund. So as some of these projects come online and we're able to tap that resource, the plan is, and I hope it is for me, to find ways. You know how you lose your keys? Y'all ever look for your keys? It's the most important thing. So let's look at cutting taxes like that. And I think folks in the county will appreciate the effort. And as some of these other projects come online, we should be able to keep taxes low, which puts more money in folks' pockets so they can do what they want to with it.
All right, Mr. Moore.
Yeah, our taxes, this recent insurance tax has taken over $21 million in the last 5 years of our taxpayers' money. It's put a strain on our community and some people more so than others. I feel like there's other avenues we can look into and other streams of income that we can reach out to, and I've proactively looked into some of that, and I feel like that I can, in a short time, get rid of that tax and have that a non-existence for us anymore, and growth is going to be the key to that.
Okay, and Mr. Clymer.
Well, there's a misconception that the county has raised property taxes. We have not. Property tax bills are based on the value of property within the county. The state does an assessment by law, required to do an assessment, and the county just sends the bills out based on our 11 cents per $100 value. And so that's one of the lowest rates in the state. We did implement an insurance tax. It did not put us in a bind. It brought us out of a bind. We were in desperate condition. We had been spending prior administrations for years, deficit spending. We got into office and said, what are we going to do, guys? And so we had to make a tough decision. Good leaders make tough decisions. This is public service. This is not self-service. And so we decided, man, we got to do it. And so we've made a very small insurance tax with the idea that the plan will be, as soon as we get ourselves up out of this hole, we will start reducing that tax and with the eye of eliminating it. And that's where we are. The plan is working. We're up now stronger. We can bring in these companies. We can give incentives. We are a strong community that is growing and growing because we've took the steps that we had to do to keep us viable and keep us alive in this economy. So we don't like the tax, but we're getting rid of it. All this new economy that's coming in with GLE and General Matter, the other things going on at DOE, the millions of dollars coming into our treasury, as I say, will allow us, this new source, to remove that tax burden from our citizens and put it on these companies that are making millions of dollars. These are multi-billion-dollar companies. They have to pay their fair share because we're going to be putting out resources and creating infrastructure so they can be successful.
Mr. Clymer, thank you. Through a comprehensive planning study conducted jointly by the county and the city, it was estimated that McCracken County, which of course includes Paducah, will be about 2,500 housing units short by 2040. What do you believe, if anything, the county should do to increase our housing stock? Mr. Moore.
That's going to start with the building department and our permit phases and code phases, and I feel like that needs to be revamped. We've ran a lot of good builders and developers off because of our particular building codes and inspection. And I feel like if it is more of a concierge service and it's a red carpet service rather than a lot of red tape put up on our building and developing and what may be because of seismic issues we have here, that we will generate more interest in it. Plus, then we incentivize growth. And I feel like if we do that in a balanced format, that will be excellent for our community because we just can't keep growing out at exit 4. We've got to incorporate exit 16, exit 11, and all the way back for our growth because I feel like that is going to free up a lot of traffic issues that we're going to have in our area. But my opinion is we need to incentivize that.
Thank you. Mr. Clymer?
Well, we do need a lot of housing, probably in the area of 4,000, I would think, and we're looking into that. We have developers that are buying land. They're making plans. There's one developer here that has 2 land plots to put 2 hotels near the sports park that will be opening next month, and not far from the Global Laser Enrichment and the DOE site. We also have, and we were talking in our fiscal court meeting in closed session just last night, can't say who they are, can't say what they are, but a massive project that's looking at coming to our triple rail, consume the entire area, $12 billion capital expenditure, 2,000 jobs, over a six-figure median wage of their employees. It'll take years to build it out. I've been talking to the steel workers, the iron workers, electric workers, everybody. We've got to bring these workers in to build these out, and then for decades to come to work at those facilities. We don't have the housing for them. And so that's going to be where the entrepreneurs, the developers are going to be coming in and taking care of that. I don't intend to get into being a real estate agent or a land developer, but we are going to make it easy for that to be developed. We've already revamped our permit system. We have a cloud permit system that makes it much easier, very easy for the developers, the realtors, whoever to come in and use that system. We need RV parks, we need small homes, big homes, everything in between. Even before the development emerged, we needed 3,000, and we'll need many, many more. But we got to understand, we have been looking at things like this for years, and here we are now.
Mr. Clymer, thank you. Mr. Abraham.
You got a table back there, young people. Did you hear all of those construction jobs, welding, plumbing, all of that? You can go to college. That's fine, but I'm just saying, you might want to get certified in one of those. This is one of the situations where if we do our part as far as licensing or the making sure everybody lives in a house that's safe, right? But then you have folks out there that's what they do. They build houses. They develop property. So we want to make sure that we do everything to make sure everybody's on the same page as far as if you're going to build this house, you have to do it this way. You know, I'm not trying to get in your soup and telling you how to eat it, but if you're going to serve it up, then it has to meet these standards. And I think that's what we're responsible for. And then let the entrepreneurs, let the developers do what they do. I think that's the way to go.
All right, thank you, sir. We'll move to the next question. The Department of Energy Paducah site is a large economic driver in our community, with more than 1,000 jobs there now and the potential to add thousands of construction jobs, hundreds of employees for the new companies locating there. How will you work to support future reindustrialization of the site, as well as the funding increases needed for accelerated cleanup? Mr. Clymer.
Well, already been working on it for 7 years. I meet with Joel Bradburn, who used to be the DOE head here. He's now number 2 in environmental management in D.C. Tim Walsh, who is number 1, met multiple times. Sandra and I, Bruce, a small group, met with them, and we're in it. We are on top of it, and I meet with. We got people here today from GLE. The reindustrialization, taking, the good story is, back in the 50s when they built that thing to produce uranium for nuclear fuel for the war effort, closed down in 2013. They're cleaning it up. We're going to take that and revitalize that, turn that into 200,000 tons of uranium sitting on a parking lot out there. So we don't have to go to Russia, don't have to go to China, don't have to rely on enemies or countries that do not favor us for uranium fuel. And nuclear is the future. Nuclear energy is it. People have concerns about it. We're putting on June 11 and 12. We're bringing in a physicist, Dr. Patrick White. He is going to address questions from people. People have serious concerns. Hey, is this safe? Well, you have a right to be concerned, because back in the day it wasn't. The science now, it is. But you need those questions answered. We want people. I'll tell you this. I would not bring something into my county, your county, unless I was completely satisfied that it's safe. And I am. And I've done the deep dive into this. I'm not a nuclear physicist. I'm trying to I educate myself where I need to be educated, and it's coming.
All right,
and it's right here.
Mr. Clymer, thank you. Mr. Abraham, incidentally, I can repeat the question for any candidates if you'd like me to, but go ahead, Mr. Abraham.
Yeah, well, nuclear energy is obviously on the fast track. We have an administration in Washington, D.C. that came in on wanting the United States to be energy independent. So federal government, where do we have property? Oh, Western Kentucky, McCracken County. Those folks down there, when they hear the word nuclear, a couple of things happen. One, we're familiar with it. And two, you look at it sideways. I had a conversation with one of the employees of GLE, and one of the things we were talking about, and the judge brought it up, was there's a lot of folks that are a little nervous. And so how do we help that, right? Well, take the training, if you can find one, take the training video that they showed the fellas and the ladies back in the 50s, right? You keep telling me how it's changed. Now, show me now the training video that the employees go through. If this happens, that happens. If this happens, this is what you do. So that, to me, that's the most important thing going on right now, because it's coming. Let's just do the best we can to make it safe. Some people will buy into that, and some folks, because they're still hurting for some things that happen with them, won't. But that's the best thing I feel like we can do as this nuclear ball starts rolling, to make sure it's as safe as possible.
And Mr. Moore.
Yeah, again, I think that the nuclear regulations and push for nuclear energy is based off our President of the United States and Department of Energy. I feel like that our local government has little control over what goes on in DOE, but if they want it, they're going to get it, and I'm glad to have it, and I'm glad it's here, and I hope that our DOE and the President of the United States continues on to push for nuclear energy so that they'll have opportunity to expand and grow from the ground up.
All right, thank you. In 2025, the federal government announced the Department of Energy Paducah site could be one of 4 DOE sites in the nation to host an artificial intelligence data center. When the RFIs were issued, the Paducah site received significant interest, and DOE could announce one soon. What role do you see our region playing in AI data centers? Mr. Abraham.
There was an interesting article in the paper this morning about AI. A lot of folks was concerned about, well, what is it going to do to my power bill? Those AI companies, they use a lot of water and all of those things. Now, the cool thing about being in this position, you don't have to do everything yourself. We have assets in the community, so I went, I had to sit down with some folks from Paducah Power and also from Paducah Water, and I was asking those questions. So, guys, talk to me. What is this going to be okay? And they were like, is this going to be fine? You know, we're not worried about AI centers coming in and blowing up our grid and electrical, your power bills going out the window, or the issue with the water. So it's kind of like the nuclear thing. It's here. And so the best thing that we can do is make sure that whatever it is that we need to know on a fiscal court side is that we're on top of that. But again, we're not here standing alone. We have other folks that's exactly in their wheelhouse, and any type of advice or any type of that type of conversation we need to have, we build those relationships, we can have them.
Mr. Moore.
Yeah, AI data centers are new enough that there's no long-term data for effects or anything of these. So from what I understand, there's some states that are holding off on getting them there till they get more information. Again, that's way up the ladder than the local governments would do. But if they come and they want to push them through and they feel like they're safe, we will have them, and we will be proud to have them here, because that's going to be a good boost for our economy here.
And Mr. Clymer.
Well, all you got to do is look, and you'll see AI data centers are popping up all over the country. We are in a race with China. We want to be ahead of China on AI data centers and artificial intelligence in general. It's a big deal. I have sat down with Tim Walsh, the head of environmental management, and others, as our small group has. Sandra, I've gotten to where I've prepared myself to help get her luggage out of the top rack of the plane. We've traveled so much. She carries a rock sample, I think, along with her. Bruce Wilcox and others, we go and we sit down with these people. There isn't any mystery about AI. It's the concern about AI is they're going to use so much power that it's going to increase the rates across the community. In this building, your home, whatever. I asked Tim Walsh that. I said, what about that? That's a legitimate concern. He said, yes, but we're going to lease ground to this AI company, and a condition of that lease is that they must produce their own energy off the grid, behind the meter it's called, to provide the energy for that, so, and a surplus. And so that surplus can go into the grid itself or power other operations there. AI is coming. It's here. It's the future, just like nuclear. I'm welcoming it, and we have taken that dive. We have researched that, and I've sat down with Dr. White, the nuclear physicist. He knows about AI as well. Wouldn't bring something that's dangerous into our community. You can believe that. You cannot. I've got grandkids. I grew up, born and raised in this community. I'm the elected leader of this community. No way is it going to come here.
All right.
And we do have,
Mr. Clymer,
we do
thank
have
you.
authority over that. We do have
Mr. Clymer, I'm going to ask you,
voice.
please stop. Thank you. Next question. How will you continue or work to build the relationships needed with other local, including Paducah, state and federal officials, and how important do you believe those relationships are, Mr. Moore?
Well, it's like I said before, other state officials like our surrounding, let's just say the most successful Bowling Green, Warren County right now, it's the fastest growing city in Kentucky. They're growing at a rate of 10,000 people a year, and they are very close with Owensboro and Allen County, Scottsdale, and the surrounding counties. I feel like partnering with them is a good idea because I feel like you're stronger as a whole than you are separate. And I don't think we should be afraid to partner, join forces, communicate, talk, collaborate, mastermind, and figure out how we can pull some of that industry down here, because right now they have more jobs than they have people. They're having to put together workforce development crews to man their jobs, and they're figuring out how to do that. These are all good paying jobs. And Owensboro's grabbing some of the overflow of that. Scottsdale is. And I've gotten to know Doug Gorman, who is the judge executive of Warren County. And it wouldn't be hard for us, whoever is elected, to go up there and to collaborate and join forces with them. I feel like that's very important.
Mr. Clymer.
Well, all these communities are looking at us and saying, dang, look at McCracken County. Look what's going on there. And we have it is essential. You cannot reach your potential. You can probably not even grow if you don't have strong partnerships and lasting relationships with the other government entities, the projects coming in, and even the citizens within the community. These bonds are developed over time, and they're built on trust, and they're built on experience. They're long range. It's the long game. It's when these companies are looking at a project just like GLE. I don't know how long, James, we've been talking several years about GLE, and they see that we're serious. They see that when I came into office 7 years ago, DOE said, you guys needed to decide. People here that back me up on that. Y'all need to decide. Do you want to have a park out there when we get this cleaned up? Do you want to reindustrialize? I said, a park? We've got this land out here. We've got a workforce of 1,000 people that are trained in nuclear, are safety-minded. We have the opportunity to reindustrialize that site, and we built that relationship. We have been to environmental management, EPA, the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, I don't know, everybody that we need to go to. I tell you, Sandra is the workhorse on this, just to tell you the truth. She kind of tells me where to go when I go. But we are together. We have a relationship with the city, the county, the state, the feds, and we're strong. We're pumping that, I mean, as hard as it can be. And so that's why we are growing so fast. That's why all this is coming.
All right. And Mr. Abraham.
Relationships are very important. We have, and again, we don't, from the fiscal court standpoint, we have partners. We have the #1 chamber in the country for a reason. They lobby for us. We sign off on priorities. Is this what we want? Yeah, we do that. We have on the state and federal level, folks are looking at Kentucky with all Western Kentucky with all this property that is not a stranger to the nuclear word, and we're moving forward on that. But also look at this: when that buildings start happening out there, dirt's being moved and then the infrastructure's going in, we're going to draw folks from Tennessee, Southeast Missouri, Southern Illinois, they're all Southern Indiana, are all going to come here to work. And what that ripple effect will do is enhance when they leave and go home, that's going to enhance where they live. So I think when we look at what we have going on here, and where we're located, that is going to impact not only Western Kentucky, but our surrounding states as well.
Thank you, sir. Next question. As new companies consider locating to Paducah and McCracken County, how can you assure them that we have the workforce to meet their needs, Mr. Clymer?
Well, we have 1,000 out there right now. It's going to be a market decision. With those 1,000 workers at the DOE site, will they want to stay with DOE? Will they want to move to other things? We have workforce in place right here now. What will happen is a lot of the people who are in lower paying jobs, the service industries or whatever, retail, that sort of thing, they have an opportunity, and we're putting that opportunity in front of them at Murray State University, Paducah campuses, engineering classes. Don't have to have a 4-year degree or a doctorate. Get a certificate to be competent in these areas. We have a program with WPSD-TV that any resident of the county can go out there for free and get a degree. And so we're bolstering that. The opportunities are just incredible. I've talked with, as I said before, U.S. Steel and the steel workers, the iron workers, all the trades really, plumbers and steam fitters. Those guys, they're on fire. They're going to, like somebody said, they're going to send up the bat signal. You know, remember when Batman sent up the bat signal and here he comes? Well, the workers are going to come. We have thousands of workers in our community that travel 30 to 45 minutes to jobs away from here to make wages that are less than what they will make, probably, a third or more less than what they can make right here at home. Our children, we're going into the 4th and 5th grade classes at school and talking to the children and with their parents, of course. Hey, like Richard said, you might want to look at this because you can come out of high school making $100,000 and you don't have any debt. You go right to work at like 18, 19 years old.
All right, thank you, Mr. Clymer. Mr. Abraham.
Repeat the question.
Yes. How can you assure them that we have the workforce to meet their needs, companies locating here?
Okay, what he said. No, I'm just saying. We got. No,
that's good.
Is that good? WKCTC, the Innovative Hub, what McCracken County schools are planning and what's going on. Our young people are finding that if you want to go the traditional route, the college route, that's fine, great. But you and everybody in this room knows that's not for everybody. And one of the things the judge mentioned is that when you sometimes, you go to school and you're not exactly sure why you're there, and you burn a couple of years and you still can't figure it out, or you can learn a trade, you can get a certificate, and you can go to work. And if the job moves, you can move with it. So I'm excited that we have those partners in this community that will train our young people and get them ready for what's coming.
And Mr. Moore.
Well, with growth comes planning. You have to plan for growth, just like in business. If you don't plan for growth, you're going to fail. You have to be 3 steps ahead. If you're going to man jobs that you're going to bring in, you want them to be right here in our community where we get the tax base. You don't want them all to come from Southern Illinois, Southeast Missouri. So planning ahead in developments aligned with what jobs we have coming in is going to be crucial because we have to have somewhere for them to live. We have to have subdivisions according to what their pay rate will be. So there's a lot to look into that, and we have to be very strategic by doing that.
All right, Mr. Moore, thank you. Next question. How will you fund the infrastructure needs that may come with growth in our county, Mr. Moore?
I'm sorry?
How will you fund the infrastructure needs that may come with growth in our county?
Infrastructure. Well, that's exactly what I just said. You've got to get the ball rolling on developments, and that's going to bring in taxpayer money, which will then be prepared for the people coming in. They're going to be taking these jobs. They're going to be paying taxes. That's where we're going to grow.
Mr. Clymer.
Well, one thing needs to be cleared up is people come from Southern Illinois or Indiana or Missouri or whatever, they work here. We get our occupational tax because they're working here. They can go back home if they want to, but they're going to be working here for several years, and likely they'll land in one of these plants. We're doing a lot of planning. I chair the Paducah McCracken County MPO, the planning organization for infrastructure, for roads, for sidewalks, for planes, for every mode of transportation, pedestrian. I'm the chair of that. And so we're doing that planning along with Southern Illinois, relationships with them. And so all kinds of planning. How are we going to pay for it? A lot of it's going to come off of these companies that are paying these construction workers. They make pretty good money. I don't know if you noticed that. These union construction workers, which most of the jobs I believe will be. And so we get a 1% payroll tax off of that. That mounts up. 1% don't sound like much. You take 2,000 workers making, $80,000 to $100,000 a year. That's some pretty good revenue. And we're going to require that these companies, pay their taxes. Obviously, taxes is how government operates. And so we're all about that. We got a tremendous road engineer in McCracken County. The Paducah Area Development District, we work with them, the relationships again. I'm the leader of the county, but I don't know like others know. I'm not an expert on roads. I'm not an expert on nuclear. I'm not an expert, but I know people that are. And all I got to do, I got like 780 contacts on my phone, and the vast majority, I got like 3 or 4 friends. But the vast majority of them are business and experts and people I can call up. And when I do, they answer or they call me back.
Mr. Clymer, thank you. Mr. Abraham.
Yeah, well, if you're planning, you can plan all you want, but if you don't have the money to pay for it, what good is it? So it takes to make sure that we're not recklessly spending money, to make sure that we understand that with this new impact of development coming, you're going to have to upgrade your infrastructure. You just have to do that. And so the challenge is to make sure that we have the money to do that. So again, it's not just wildly spending money on what you don't need to spend money on. That doesn't make any sense. But if you're talking about enhancing the infrastructure, then those folks in the room focus in on that, and I think we'll be okay.
All right, next question. How important do you rank population growth, Mr. Clymer?
Well, certainly it's important. And we got the doors wide open. I mean, and it's not just population, it's workers coming. GLE's in the range of 240 employees. General Matter, I think, is around 200 employees. That's after they get rolling, and that's maybe a few years before they actually do that. But in the meantime, they bought 660 acres of land. The county arranged for that purchase because it belonged to the Kentucky Fish and Wildlife. We got with the Fish and Wildlife with Bruce's help, Wilcox, and negotiated with them. Hey, let's trade out, and we got that land for GLE. They're right beside the DOE site. General Matter purchased land. They got a $900 million grant from the federal government. $900 million goes pretty. You can buy some stuff with $900 million. If you didn't know, but working with all of that, we're just on fire in this county. We really are. We've been hoping and praying, and a lot of it is because of us pulling ourselves up out of a hole. And so we are financially stable. We can do these things. We can do some travel. I've gone along with the same people going to all these brownfield sites, the other atomic sites, nuclear sites. Sandra and I go repeatedly, as does Bruce, to the Energy Communities Alliance forums, the Nuclear Waste Management Forum that's in Arizona every year, meet those people and make those relationships. I've met people from Austria, from Japan, sit down with them, and my Japanese is not too good.
All right, Mr. Clymer, thank you. Again, the question is,
You
how
want to hear
important,
about that?
how important do you rank population growth? Again, that's the question, Mr. Abraham.
It's huge. We want our area to grow, but folks don't usually come to a place where they can't make a living. So we've talked quite a bit today about what's coming, and if we have the folks that are, if I'm living wherever, and I see an opportunity to enhance my my family with a good paying job, I'm coming to McCracken County. Any surrounding states, that's the thing. We talk about kids moving and moving away from home. Well, usually what happens with that is when you go to college, you know, you're there for 4 years, and then when you graduate, you usually hang around there for a minute because you've built those relationships. But after a while, you're like, you know what? I remember growing up in McCracken County, Paducah, McCracken County. That wasn't a bad place to live, to raise his family. But here's the thing. Is there a job there for what I do? If it is, we're packing the truck. We're coming home. If not, maybe not so fast. So I think we'll be okay. And population, obviously, if you don't have it, you don't have a tax base. That's for sure. So we want to make sure that we keep folks coming to McCracken County because we're on fire.
And Mr. Moore.
It is very important. It's something that we haven't had in the last 35 years. And I think the last couple of years we've actually declined in population. It's the reason we're in the position we're in. And we have to capitalize on all these opportunities and then figure out how to grow off of them. But population growth is the key mainstream to our county government.
All right, thank you. For timing purposes, the next couple of questions, your responses will be limited to 1 minute. What makes you different than your opponents? Mr. Abraham.
Well, me, I'm different. We all bring what we bring to the table. You can't be anybody other than who you are. I think if you look at my track record as a public servant, I stand by it. I like to think I may not have a master's degree in whatever, but I got a master's degree in common sense, and that have served me well. And that's not saying anything about these gentlemen. This is just who I am.
All right, Mr. Moore.
I'm the only one up here that's not a politician. I'm a businessman, and I'm wanting to be a public servant. So I'm going to use my skills that I have learned from operating and growing business to give it back to my community.
All right, thank you. And Mr. Clymer, 1 minute.
Well, I know, Todd. I don't want this to sound like arrogant or anything like that, but I am fortunate to have, over the years, I went to work for the county police in 1976, moved over to the police department for 9 years, went to law school. I remember packing up my babies, 3 and 5. They're now 44 and 48 years old now, going to law school. My mentor, Albert Jones, told me, if you go to law school, you can be a leader in this community. And he was right. I'm the only one that's done this job. Being a leader of the county is a difficult job. It's a full-time job. I've got no other interests. I get up in the morning, I'm thinking, what can I do today to make this county stronger? I don't need to worry about other businesses, other interferences, or anything. And when I lay down at night, I think, what did I get done, and how can I do better tomorrow?
Thank you. Next question, I believe our last question. what have we missed asking you about today, Mr. Moore?
You pretty well covered everything today. I think we've got a whole realm of questions, but they were very good questions, though, and something I feel like that our public needs to know. And I appreciate all these people coming out here and hearing our views today.
All right. Mr. Clymer, what have we missed asking you about today?
Well, to have a good life, a man's got to have a good wife. "50 years we've been married. It's not the blessing you might think it'd be to be married to me, just to be frank. but she's so strong, so supportive. I got 2 great kids. Albert told me if you go to law school, your kids will be lawyers too, and they'll be leaders. They are. I'm just so blessed to have this job. I just appreciate it so much. And I would love to have some more time. If I don't get more time, I'll be grateful for what I did have. But I do believe I made a mark on this community. I do believe I can lay down at the end of the day, whether that day's the end of this year or 4 years from now, and say, well, you did your best.
And Mr. Abraham, what have we missed asking you about today?
Well, since you opened that door, my wife Cynthia and I, we've been married 43 years. We got 2 wonderful daughters. Townley, the oldest, has a master's in nursing, and youngest, McKinley, just closed her first on-Broadway show last year. That was great, but here's the best part. I got 4 grandchildren, and I would fly for those guys. So, again, I appreciate the time you guys allotting us the time to talk to you about what's important to you. But yeah, I didn't get a question like that. So yeah, my grandkids and then my daughters.
All right. All right. For our last segment of the forum, each candidate will have 2 minutes for closing statements, and we will go in reverse order from our introductory comments. So we begin with Mr. Abraham.
My dad moved us here in 1972 from Western Tennessee, and he passed away at 47 years old. And the church that he worked, Olivet Baptist Church, is the place he worked. And he passed away. He left my mom, my sister, and myself. And it really moved me because of what happened after my dad passed away. That they felt so, they were moved with him so much, they loved him so much, that 6 months after my dad passed away, they paid my mom his salary. He was in a hospital at Vanderbilt Hospital, and the deacons would rotate, driving us down and back. So at that point, I realized how special Paducah was, but more importantly, how special the folks are within McCracken County. So you're going to get my best. Win, lose, or draw this thing, you're going to get my best, and I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Closing statement, 2 minutes, Mr. Clymer.
Well, you know, McCracken County has in just the last couple of years, we're just exploding. Enormous potential. And I hear people say, well, if they come, maybe they'll come. They're here. It's not, are they going to come? We've been looking for jobs. We've been looking for growth. We've been looking for wealth to come into our community, into our treasure. I remember I said we're going to put that little tax on back years ago with the idea of eliminating it when we can, and we're there. We're already doing that. The relationships that have been built in the past 7 years, traveling around, meeting with the people, educating myself. I'm a retired state judge. I didn't know anything about this nuclear and all that. The sports park is opening next month. I do take some pride in that because I remember very well reading in the paper back several years ago, they're going to close that Bluegrass Downs site, and I'm thinking I had been shown where our kids play soccer on the edge of a landfill. And I said, we're going to do something about that. I read that. I got a hold of, the short story is I got a hold of a guy with Caesars, that, Caesars owns all the gambling and all the golf courses. Told him I would like to have that property and I'd like to have it free. About a year and a half later, I get the phone call. I was with Brandy Harless, Knoxville, Tennessee. Judge, we're going to give you that property. Whew. Man, millions of dollars worth of property right there on the Greenway. So the development that we are looking at is unimaginable. If I've been told that we were going to be here in this position when I took office 7 years ago, I said, come on, can't be. But here we are, and we're strong.
All right, and closing statements, 2 minutes, Mr. Moore.
I want the citizens of McCracken County to know something clearly. I do not just want to be a judge executive. I want to be the best judge executive that this county has seen in my lifetime. And I will work every day to earn that title. For 52 years, I've learned what it takes to succeed through hard work, leadership, determination. I've built businesses, I've created jobs, I've faced challenges and overcome them. I'm a winner in business, I'm a winner in life, and most importantly, I'm a winner in my faith. When I'm elected judge executive, the people of this county are going to win with me. We need leadership that builds for the next generation, not just the next election cycle. We need a leader who protects your paycheck, prioritizes your safety, and puts hardworking families first. I'm honored to have the support of the McCracken County Sheriff's Department, the Fraternal Order of Police, the men and women who put their lives on the line every day to protect our community, know what leadership looks like. They know who is prepared to stand up for public safety, support law enforcement, and move McCracken County forward. That support should tell the citizens of McCracken County something important. I will fight to eliminate the insurance tax. I will work tirelessly to make sure citizens of McCracken County are never burdened by unfair taxation like this again. I believe government should work for the people, not against the people. This campaign is about leadership, accountability, growth, and putting McCracken County first. I'm ready to lead, serve, and win for every citizen in this county.
Thank you, sirs. And as they exit this stage, please join me in giving a nice round of applause. And before we conclude, I'd like to express the Paducah Chamber's appreciation to the candidates for your participation, and to our forum sponsors, and to our audience with us today and those joining us virtually. Best wishes to all of you, and again, thank you for bringing your message to the citizens of McCracken County and the region. Kentucky's primary election is set for May 19th. Special thanks to Brian Clapp for editing these special episodes, and for our crew out in the field making it happen. And thank you for listening. We'll see you next time.